Whether you live in an old house or you're thinking about buying a vintage, a classic, an older home, there's some really essential red flags on the electrical system that master electrician CJ from CNC Electric in California is going to tell you all about. With that being said, electrical red flags, let's get going.
CJ here with The Build Show, and today we're talking electrical. Not just any electrical, we're talking red flags to look out for when buying or working on a vintage or historic home. Check it out. All right, guys, item number one when it comes to an old home that's 100 plus years old is the main service. The main service is actually where your utility company brings you power, right? And you wouldn't believe it, but this long ago, oftentimes homes were wired with 50 to 60 amps in a service, which today a modern oven or an air conditioner will use just that. So one of the big things that when you're looking at buying a home of this age is the electrical service and has it been upgraded. What are we talking about upgrading? You want to look at your main breaker rating, right? So actually on this home, we have a 100 amp breaker that feeds this house. 100 amps is what I would consider the bare minimum. This house is around 1,000 square feet, so it's not a big guy. But you want to make sure that you take into consideration large electrical loads when you're working with a service size of this. Electrical vehicle charging is a big one. Modern HVAC systems are big watt hogs. So you want to make sure that the electrical service isn't the original, because if you're dealing with the original, it's going to be a puny little guy with maybe Edison-based fuses. You've all seen those that screw in. We have a modern breaker here. We actually have the inspection tag of when this bad boy was installed in 2013. So this is around 10 years old, and I'm considering this a modern service. Yes, 100 amps is the weak spot, but 100 amps in a modern grounded service is a crucial one. Another thing is, the inspectors will flag this, but ground rods, or is your system grounded? And what's the drop look like coming into the house? These are all things that you can point out early. And if it's an older one, make sure you take into consideration that it's going to need an upgrade. And this is kind of the heart of the electrical system. It could be a costly one. It shouldn't scare you away, but you should be aware of it. Let's quickly touch on why are we doing this? This might be for a homeowner that's purchasing the house again, or you're not anticipating a large remodel. If you're anticipating a large remodel, then maybe most of this stuff won't matter except the service size. But that taking into consideration, if you did have a home inspection, we've all heard the nightmare stories, and if you haven't, I've experienced them. I've been on the service call where a homeowner has purchased a house. The home inspector comes in that does the broad spectrum overview of the entire house, writes up his report with the fine print at the end saying anything in this report, if it's not accurate, I'm not responsible. I'm not going to throw all inspectors or home inspectors for buyers under the bus. That's not the case, but every once in a while, there is a lot of stuff that sneaks through or falls through the cracks. And so I highly recommend either hiring your electrician or a trained electrician, or even yourself, to, if you're experienced, to investigate the electrical. And I'm going to show you a few. So we've already investigated the main service. We've determined that it's 100 amps. That being said, it's going to be up to the size of the house and what your requirements are, if that's adequate. But that's about an average service size around this neck of the woods and this size of the house, and we deem that A-okay. Next, we're going to check out some interior wiring, so check it out. All right, red flag, grounded receptacles, right? We've all been in the homes where you actually have no ground, and the ground is a small round. One easy tool that you can go pick up in any box store or electrical supply house is a plug tester. Really simple. It'll light up and tell you if the wiring to your receptacles right here is correct. And if it's not, it'll light up a pair of either reverse wiring or maybe it's missing a wire. So this is a great tool to have, and you can actually go around the house and inspect every single receptacle for proper wiring before you even open the box. So check it out. We're actually going to plug it in, and you can see we got the two orange lights lit up. And if you pull it out, and you see what the two orange lights mean, it's correct. So we got a hot and a neutral and a properly grounded circuit. So we're going to go around the house and we're going to do this to every receptacle. And if we see anything that is not lighting up two orange lights, we're going to investigate that, or we're going to actually write it down on a report and get that inspected by an electrician.